Okay, we call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation following. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, please bless our elected officials. Grant them the wisdom to know and the courage to do what is right for all citizens. Amen.
Amen. Roll call, please.
Goodar, Green,
Here.
Lepore, Mistrovich,
Here.
Ricks,
Here.
Schultz,
Here.
Yara.
Here.
Good to have you back, Jamie.
Good to be back.
Okay, approval of minutes for the city council meeting on March 16th would be in order.
So moved. Support.
Motion been made and supported. Is there any discussion on those minutes? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion passes. We move on to audience comments on any non-agenda items. If anybody would like to address city council, we ask you to come to the podium, state your name and address for the record. If not, we will move on. Adoption agenda. Mr. City Manager, a change?
I had one change, adding item number 8, acceptance of Councilor Jeff Goodar's resignation.
Okay. I would like to add number 9, appointment of city councilman. City council, is there a motion to amend the agenda?
So moved.
Support.
What's been made and supported. Is there any discussion? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
What's been made and supported. There is no discussion on that motion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion passes. There is no public hearing this evening. We move on to items for consideration, which we now have 9. The first one being consideration of letter to developer. Mr. City Manager?
Council is scheduled to consider approving a letter from the city manager to 5 Star Investments in Realty. This developer has proposed a residential site plan in Lenox Township just south of Chaskey Street at the end of Samuel Court. And I would like to apologize, my background brief, I then, after writing Samuel Court there, switched it all to Seymour, which is a little bit north of there, so.
We'll let it go this time.
Yeah, thank you. Back to the issue at hand, the applicant is proposing 21 homes on 29.65 acres that abuts Forest in the township and Samuel Court in the city, with the main entrance coming off of Forest in the township. They had sent a letter to the city asking whether or not they would be allowed to connect to Samuel Court. And I did forward this information to the city attorney. Based on his opinion, which I've had some discussion or sent some correspondence to the council, since this was approved back in '98 as part of a plat at the request of the property owner, that the city should remain neutral on this issue, and at the present time, as currently approved with their plat, allow them to connect to Samuel Court. In my letter, I do outline 3 items that we have concerns about, one being that Forest and Gleason in the township should be paved up to the sections that are paved in the city. That the city is willing to sit down with the developer and discuss further some of the ways they suggested they may be able to limit traffic into Samuel Court. This was something they put in their letter, and we're willing to sit down and talk more about that. And that the city isn't in control of any actions the residents, the property owners within that plat may take. So we've kind of outlined our stance, and as I mentioned, with how it's laid out currently and approved, they would be allowed to tie into Samuel Court. On the letter in front of you that I laid on the table tonight, I did add one sentence in there talking, and I had talked to the developer before about their once they go to, if they get approvals and go to construction, the construction traffic should not come down Chasky or Samuel Court, that it should come in off of Forest.
Very good.
And one other item, I did meet with the president of the Pinehurst Homeowners Association too.
Okay, very good. Okay, is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve the city manager's letter to Five Star Investment and Realty.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? Seems fair. We have a stub there. I was on planning commission at the time, I believe, and if it was as we've done in other subdivisions, we have those stub streets there for future development. So, again, I think your letter's fine, and if the association has issues with that, then they can bring it back to the city council by what it looks like. So, I don't have an issue with it. Any other comments? Any audience participation on this? No? Back to the table?
Yes. We did do our due diligence. We've talked to our attorney, determined what since we don't appear not to have standing to bring a challenge to it. And I think we attempted to contact Lennox to see what options there might be to deal with growth, and they weren't interested in at this point, working with us on other opportunities for growth. And it still, I think we did our best to research in a timely fashion between the time we received the letter from the developer on what they for sure wanted to do. And this is, at this point, what our options are. It doesn't leave the community from going forward with their own action, because we've determined from our attorney that they would have standing to attempt to challenge this.
Anything else? All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Item number 2 is consideration of special event request, tent sale, Richmond Flower Shop. Mr. City Manager?
Council is scheduled to consider approving a special event request from Alan Teresa Maniaci, owners of the Richmond Flower Shop. They'd like to be allowed to place a 10 by 20 tent in the pocket park area of the municipal parking lot for outdoor display of goods before and a little bit after Mother's Day. They would like to have the tent up approximately 4 weeks from April 27th through Tuesday, May 26th. And everything, the tent sale would be in the same location as their sale last year at this same time of year, and also in the fall they had a similar sale or a similar location for gray blankets and wreaths, I believe. The last year's spring sale was 1 week, and the fall sale was 3.
Okay. Is there a motion before discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve the tent request from Richmond Flower Shop from April 27th to May 26, 2015. The tent shall be placed parallel to the side of the building near the location denoted on the attached map.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Discussion. It's a long time
Yeah, that's.
on city property. That's the first thought that came to my mind. It's the longest I believe that we've given anybody to set up on city property to vend. I agree that it's a nice thing on Main Street to have, but how long is too long, I guess is the question. Being it's a Mother's Day type thing and into Memorial Weekend, the request is, Mother's, they're talking about starting on April 27th, which is a Monday, and the Mother's Day isn't until, was it 2 weeks? Almost, yeah. Yeah.
What day is
13
Mother's
days
Day?
later is Mother's Day. Mother's Day is on the 10th.
Mother's Day. is-
So it's 13 days before and 7, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 days after, which takes you into Memorial.
May 1st.
Last year, Were they there for Memorial Weekend? I can't remember.
No, I believe last year it was May 6th through the 13th.
Okay. Well-
And then the fall sale was November 20th through December 11th.
Okay, that was the longer
The
one.
longer one, yes.
Right, and they did do a nice job keeping the tent up because we had some very strong winds.
Oh, yeah.
They had it anchored and it didn't look shabby after all the winds that we've had. That's,
No, they did a nice
No,
job.
and I agree with you, Mr. Mayor, that they do a beautiful job, but I think the time is too long, as well. I think maybe like May 1st through the 24th, or I actually would support 2 weeks as my, because it is city property, and
Accumulatively, it's about 2 months now for the year.
Pardon me?
Accumulatively, if we approve that, we're at about 2 months worth. There's a week and
Mhm.
then there was another 3-week stretch and now 4 weeks, so it's slowly moving towards permanent.
you're right, so two entire months out of the whole year they've asked for that spot, okay, for property.
But it does, on the other side, it does add the atmosphere that it
Right.
adds to the downtown. Really is second to none. I mean, it really does add to it.
Mm-hmm.
The concern is the length of time.
Mm-hmm.
The concern is also, one of my concerns is does it enhance or does it take away from the Veterans Park by having a retail store so close to the
Memorial Day weekend.
the monument? Just thoughts that have popped into my head.
And Mr. Mayor, the applicant is here now.
Oh, there she is. We're talking, we're thinking out loud in some cases here, about the time involved, the long period of time. The other thing is, are we setting a precedent? And I don't know where else you would set we would have that problem. I talked to John about it, I go, where else could we possibly have this problem? Where it's city property and it's retail. I don't see anybody do anything out the backside in our other parking lot across the street. I don't know that the lawyer is gonna wanna have his office out in the, so really, it's probably the only place we really have where it's city property. So, the concerns are, from what I've heard so far, is the length of time.
Like and getting into, because it's Memorial Weekend and that people go to the monument to
Yeah.
memorialize veterans.
Yeah. Could we maybe step out since Teresa is here now? Otherwise, I
Yeah.
would have asked her to come up before we even began. Teresa, would you come on up, please? There's a bit of concern about the length of time.
Okay.
If it went down, instead of being a month long, if it went down to 3 weeks,
Yep.
where would you want that timeline to?
I'd have to look at the dates again, but 3 weeks is fine. It's just, it worked out really well last year, and now, I don't know if I should say this, but like, there is nowhere in the area in town to get these things.
Yeah.
Like the plants and so on. So we wanted to see if we could service it a little longer to the community by having it a little longer, because Toits is now closed in St. Clair.
Yeah.
So that's why we were looking at the time frame that we were had on there. But if I can do the 3 weeks, but that was the only reason. So
Would
I'd have
be-
to look at the dates that I had.
Would it be?
We would shorten it up. We wouldn't leave it there because I think it was
Would you want to go into Memorial Weekend?
no.
Okay, so you back that off,
Yeah.
then you're like 10 days before Mother's Day is when your
Yes.
request starts.
Yeah.
Is that a better time for you on the retail end to have the early time?
Yes and no, because it depends on the weather.
Yeah.
And like Toit says, well, he always tells me, no, Teresa, don't put this out yet, because it's too cold. So that's where it's that whole iffy game.
Yeah,
Well, maybe, mind
Yep,
if I?
go right ahead.
Possibly shorten, rather than do 1 week at the beginning or 1 week at the end, I do somewhat agree with the Veterans Memorial there, is if we can shorten it prior, maybe allow it through that Friday of Memorial Weekend, and then so that would be to, you know,
May 1st through the 24th would be 3 full weeks plus 2 days to get in an extra weekend.
yeah, that.
May 9th is Mother's Day, right?
Yeah.
So May 1st would give us the week before,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, and I don't even know if it'll be filled again, it'll be because of the weather.
Yeah.
And then, we can shorten it up at the week at the end. I don't have a problem cutting off a week.
On the end.
Yeah, on the end.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions while we got her up here? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, back to the table. Well, while we're at it, is there any other audience comments on this issue?
Or it's,
Being not, it's back to the table for final. So,
I'm proposing May 1st through the 24th.
okay. Okay. So, we have a motion on the floor right now, April 27th to May 26th. If there's no more discussion on the motion, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Against? Nay.
Nay.
Okay, motion is done. Is there another motion to be had?
I make a motion to approve the tent request from the Richmond Flower Shop from May 1st to May 24th, 2015. The tent shall be placed parallel to the side of the building near the location denoted on the attached map.
Support.
What's been made and supported? Now discussion on the new motion. We started this off with what an enhancement that is also to the downtown, especially to that park, that
Absolutely.
pocket park. I would take it one step further, and Teresa brought it up, if the weather is bad. If the weather is bad on the front end of those dates, would council have a problem letting the administration take it up to Memorial Weekend?
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
When
What
is the-
day is Memorial Day this year?
Memorial Day, I believe, is the 25th?
Okay,
Yes,
well,
25th.
which is the 24th is the day before Memorial Day,
Yep.
is when because I just would like it to be down on Memorial Day.
Yeah, I would too.
So
Yeah.
that's why I gave the date of the 24th, so it would be down the day before
Yeah,
Memorial Day.
Are you open on the 24th, Sunday, before Memorial Day?
No, not the Sunday, no.
Okay, so Saturday you'd be open still? Okay, so you safely could go to the 23rd.
Well, that's what our motion was.
That was the motion that I
May
made,
1st to the 24th.
Oh, I'm sorry.
was that it
I'm
would
looking at the
be
wrong thing here.
down before
I was looking
Memorial
I was
Day.
looking at the previous, look over on this calendar. Okay, so we're
We're
good.
pretty golden that way.
Yeah, we are. So your motion was May 1st to May 24th?
Yes.
Okay, all right. What'd you tell me, Schultz? You're supposed to tell me these
Can I
things.
ask one question? Please?
We'll let it go. Go ahead.
And you know how the tent runs this way? Can we run it the other way if you come out and see if there's enough room? Because of the length, I think it would give a better appearance to the town and everything. It'd be a better presentation if I could run it this way.
That was
just more
council. I think
inviting.
The direction we got from council the very first time it came in was to run it parallel to the building. If council's comfortable with how they've handled it in the past with allowing it to go the other way, I don't recall with the other way, I think it was that it covered more benches or something, or I don't recall why we went that direction,
I
but I
think
do
it
agree.
was because it gets intrusive into the monument itself. And so,
yeah.
and I think also by having it parallel to the building, we thought it would be flushed with the building, so it almost looks like an extension of their store, not just a vendor tent. That was, at least I recall, the thinking of having it parallel to the building.
What size is the tent again?
10 by 20.
10 by 20? So it's adding another 10 feet on.
Out. it
So you would
do-
slide it back.
It would
You slide it
double.
back and then, because I think the presentation will look a lot nicer.
I don't have a problem with the administration taking a look at that. How about anybody else?
I would go with their judgment, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, as long as, if he goes, checks it out, okay.
That's fine with me.
all right, see what happens. Did we vote on this yet?
Because you can't make up your mind at the date.
Yeah, I know. So, we have the new dates, May 1st and May 24th.
Well, it's really the pro tem's job to make sure he keeps up on the
He
calendar.
should keep.
It's really him.
Yeah, you're right,
I
you're
was
right.
on top of it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see how far he was gonna go.
All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion passes. Very good. Glad you're doing that again.
Thank you.
It looks very nice up there. Okay, we're on to item number 3, I think. Let's see, yes, consideration of bid award generator maintenance. Mr. City Manager?
City Council is scheduled to consider awarding the 2015 to 2017 generator maintenance contract. Proposals were mailed to 4 companies who have previously bid on the contract, and we did receive bids from those 4 companies. AC/DC Electrical was the apparent low bidder, and we are recommending that we go with them. They did have it in the past. Jim is here to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, very good. Is there a motion?
Move to award the 2015 to 2017 generator maintenance contract 2015-Gen-1 to AC/DC Electric with the expenses charged to the appropriate line items of the general fund, fire fund, sanitary sewer fund, and the water fund in the fiscal year 14-15, fiscal year 15-16, and fiscal year 16-17 budgets with an estimated amount of $23,873.87.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? Low bidder by $12, not quite $12. That was close. Keeping them
Yes.
honest.
Yeah.
Jim, did you have any comments here?
Not really. AC/DC had it previously. They did an excellent job for us.
Did they? Good.
Yeah, and the contract itself is consistent with other communities, and it's a benefit. It identifies problems before we actually need the generator, so they're working when we do need the generator.
Good, good. Am I recalling that we did have a major problem with one of the generators here this past couple of years, or was that?
Well,
No, that
and
was true.
this past fall, we did identify that the DPW generator actually is almost out of commission. It's not,
Oh,
there's
really?
no power left.
And I thought, and I couldn't get my years mixed up, I thought we may have had a problem with the police post generator, but
I believe you're right, yeah.
Yeah,
So, and those have all been identified as part of that contract.
okay. So are we budgeting for a new generator over at DPW?
the request has been made.
Those are meetings coming up the end of the month, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any audience participation on this item? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion passes. Thank you. Item number 4, consideration of special event request, Buddy Poppy sale for the Richmond VFW. Mr. City Manager.
Council is scheduled to consider a request received from the VFW Post 6802 for permission to conduct their annual Buddy Poppy sale on Thursday, May 7th through Saturday, May 9th, 2015. They do their sale at just Main and Division. We've provided the normal motion that also does take into account for school letting out at that location. And they did supply all of their financial paperwork that's on file at the clerk's office.
Very good. Is there a motion?
I move to approve the request received from the VFW Post 6802 to conduct their annual Buddy Poppy sale at the intersection of Main Division on Thursday, May 7th through Saturday, May 10th, 2015, from dawn to dusk. Further, the VFW Post 6802 members agree that they will wear reflective vests and utilize traffic cones, that the VFW Post 6802 agrees not to be in the Main Division intersection from 2:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. on Thursday, May 7th and Friday, May 8th. And further, the VFW Post 6802 agrees to sign a liability waiver.
Support.
What's been made and supported? Any discussion? Any audience participation on this item? Back to the table. Hope all goes well for them. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Item number 5 is consideration of adopting resolution 2015-5, request to conduct the Memorial Day Parade. Mr. City Manager?
Council is scheduled to consider the request we received from the VFW to conduct the annual Memorial Day Parade. The parade will be held on Monday, May 25th, 2015, beginning at 10 a.m. at the Richmond High School parking lot. They've also asked for 2 wreaths, and then council has always approved a 3rd wreath now that we have the Veterans Memorial to place one up.
Thank you, sir. We have a couple of motions here. First motion will be in order.
I make a motion to adopt resolution number 2015-5, which directs the city clerk to apply to the Michigan Department of Transportation to close M19 on Monday, May 25th, 2015, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for the purpose of conducting the annual Memorial Day Parade.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? Anything from the audience? Back to the table. I want to thank John Heinen for putting this all back together again. The parade and the ceremonies at the cemetery. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We have the second motion for the wreaths.
Move to authorize purchase of 3 wreaths to be placed at the Richmond Cemetery, St. Michael Cemetery, and the Veterans Memorial.
Support.
What's been made and supported? Is there any discussion? Any audience participation on this item? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Item number 6, consideration of appointing a council liaison to the Recreation Board. Mr. City Manager?
Council is scheduled to consider the appointment of an ex officio member on the Recreation Board in accordance with the Recreation Board bylaws. Mayor Ricks currently serves in this capacity.
I would do it again if council so wishes.
I make a motion then to appoint Mayor Tim Ricks as the city council ex officio member on the Recreation Board with an expiration date of March 31st, 2016.
Support.
It's been made and supported. Discussion? I've enjoyed my time on there. It's going to be very challenging this year, given the budget. And we'll hopefully be able to attend as many meetings as I've been able to attend in the past to help out with John and explaining why council, there's only so much money again. And there's a big change probably coming for the Parks and Recreation, so, and leadership and whatnot. So I'd like to stay one more year. Maybe after this one, I'll pass it on.
Wait,
You're waiting for it, aren't you?
no.
Huh?
No, you're staying on forever.
Okay. Any other comments?
Well, I definitely appreciate your being on there. I always appreciate your stories about you and Tommy Kraus playing tennis and so forth around town. So you probably participate in most of the programs that they.
Of course, yes. In the heyday, yeah. Any audience participation on this item? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion passes. Thank you. Item number 7 is consideration of request to conduct the National Day of Prayer. Mr. City Manager.
Council is scheduled to consider a request we received from the Richmond area pastors to recognize Thursday, May 7th, 2015 as the National Day of Prayer. In previous years, the city has recognized the National Day of Prayer by allowing the pastors to publicly pray in front of City Hall from 12:20 to 12:40 that day. Pastor Russ Egley is here from Grace Christian Church. If you have any questions on the event, in the past, the Rotary Club has also sponsored pizza for a little luncheon afterwards. We're in the process of talking to them on whether or not they'll do that again this year, and I assume that they will.
Pastor, would you like to address?
On behalf of the Richmond area pastors, I'd like to thank City Council for your consideration of the National Day of Prayer. You guys have been a big supporter of this, and we really appreciate it. And we appreciate John Moore, who is on top of everything. And if I don't get the request in right away, he's sure to call or email. So we just wanted to say thank you very much.
Thank you for organizing it. We appreciate it. It's been a number of years now. Okay, is there a motion?
I make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the proclamation recognizing Thursday, May 7th, 2015 as the National Day of Prayer. Further, that members of city council, other officials, and the public be invited to publicly pray in front of city offices from 12:20 p.m. to 12:40 p.m. on this day.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any further discussion?
Nice weather would be very, very nice that day.
Yes.
Don't need any rain or wind.
No.
No, we don't.
No. I would imagine we would probably hold it inside if
Yes,
we
if
did have
it's-
really bad weather.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be here or?
At the present time, it will still be here. And we hope everything will then, we'll have a nicer setting next year.
Unless you want to delay this until June.
Yeah. Maybe they could pray for it to open soon.
Or July or August or September. Christmas. It's an inside joke. We've been wanting to get over there for quite some time, Pastor, so maybe you could say a few prayers for us that we get in there this year.
We'll be in this year.
Okay. Any other public comments on this? Being not, back to the table. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Against? Motion does pass. Again, thank you. Okay, on the amended agenda, we have number 8, consideration of accepting the resignation of Jeff Goodar from Richmond City Council, which we're sad to see on the agenda. Mr. City Manager?
Councilor Jeff Goodar submitted his resignation to the City Council and Administration on Thursday, April 2nd, 2015. Councilor Goodar served on the City Council since his appointment on March 24th, 2010 to fill a vacancy, and his subsequent election back to the council on November 2011. The charter is clear that resignation of elective officers and members of board shall be made in writing and filed with the city clerk and acted upon by the council at its next regular meeting following the receipt thereof.
Very good. Is there a motion?
Are you gonna do all three? Or just the city council one?
Just,
You have to do it 3 times then?
no.
The way the
just one
motion's
motion.
written, yeah.
One
Yeah, I
motion,
apologize, he did resign within that same letter from Tifa and BZA as well. The motion I prepared would be for all 3 boards.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept the resignation of Counselor Jeff Goodar with regrets from the city council, Tifa, BZA. Oh, it does have regrets on it. I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
Support. It's been made and supported. I'd like to take a moment and not recite the whole letter or read the whole letter, but I think the letter shows how Jeff felt about his time on city council. And it starts off with, as all of you know, a few months ago, the demands of my work drastically changed due to some unforeseen circumstances. Although I appreciate the city council giving me the time to see how things would work out, I don't see these demands changing for the foreseeable future. As such, I don't think it is fair to the people of the city of Richmond for me to hold this position without being able to fully participate and make the necessary meetings. I have made the difficult decision to tender my resignation of my city council position. This also applies to my Tifa and BZA. I think it speaks well of Jeff to unselfishly tender his resignation, and with hopes that things change in the future for him. He loves Richmond since he's moved here a number of years ago. He's been involved in, as we can see, the BZA, the Tifa, and City Council. He's chaired the muster, the fire muster during good old days, and he's been he's been a great addition to our community, and really sad to see this happen to him. But it is part of his job, as he has said, and he will weather it, and maybe down the line, he definitely would like to come back and serve the people of the city of Richmond. So with that, is there any other comments? Is there any audience participation on this item? Being not, back to the table. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Against? Motion passes. We also have added number 9 by City Council approval. What do we call it, John?
Appointment to the City Council, and I would just, if you don't mind, I'll read the section of the city charter dealing with that. Any vacancy which occurs in the council shall be filled within 30 days by a majority vote of the remaining members of council. Said appointee to hold office until the Monday following the next regular council city election, at which election, such vacancy shall be filled as provided in section 5.5 for any balance of the unexpired original term. Counselor Jeff Gooder was up at the next council election this coming November, so the last part of that really doesn't change anything with that particular seat. But council, under the charter, does say you shall appoint within 30 days.
Very good. Would council mind if we kind of explain why I requested this tonight? At our last election, we had Dean Roberts was the only person that ran for city council other than those that were up on city council for this year, for this last year. And going through the process of running for city council, of course, there's certain demands put on that person, such as going out and getting the required signatures to even be considered. And then when it came to the polls, I don't remember the numbers, but I believe Dean did fairly well as a new council, possible new council member. So I think it's only fair that council consider his appointment tonight to fill the vacancy that Jeff has left. And it doesn't come as any surprise to me personally that, you know, we worked with Jeff and tried to, you know, hang on for a while, and it just wasn't going to happen. And in the last few weeks, he said it's probably gotten worse for him. He's going to have to spend more time doing the job that he's doing right now because of logistics. So I think it was just good planning, since the council tells us, I'm sorry, the charter tells us we have only 30 days to fill the vacancy. I think it's just good forward planning to talk to people in case Jeff really did put in his resignation. And I went to Dean and said, you know, you were the last person to run, and you know, would you consider an appointment? And are you considering possibly running in November? And he said yes to both questions. To me, that's somebody who's committed. The other thing that I had done, that I'd asked council for their approval after the election, when Dean did not win a seat on city council, we had a opening on the planning commission at that time, which was a very, you know, a very important position in our community. And he, of course, took it, and I think he's learned a few things in the months that have happened since then. And he still wants to serve on city council. I can't believe it. But anyhow, that's why I asked for it to be put on tonight. It's the right thing to do. I truly believe it's the right thing to do. And I would like to make a motion to have council approve filling the Councilor Jeff Goodar's remaining term by appointing Dean Roberts to the city council tonight.
Support.
Pardon me?
Are you making the
That's my
motion?
motion.
I'm
You are
supporting
making,
it.
okay.
That's my motion. I
All right,
don't get a
support.
chance to make motions.
Oh, I didn't know if we support.
I supported it. Already
Okay.
gotcha.
All right. We have a motion. Karen, did you get all that? Thank you. It's been supported. Is there further discussion?
Mr. Mayor. I agree with you. I think that's definitely appropriate. The term that Dean Reynolds ran for, we are actually still in the middle of. You know, it would be in, you know, the four of us are part of the current term. He'd be appointed to fill Jeff Goodar's term, but definitely we're in that realm of that term. He did go through the petition process. He did go through a vote and did get a substantial number of votes. I feel very comfortable in voting to appoint him at this time and know that we're within the guidelines of what I think the voters wanted. I said if we didn't have someone like Dean who had ran in the current term, then I would definitely want to see a petition and interview process. But I think it's definitely appropriate in his case to appoint him, and get him started, if everyone supports him, to get ready for budget.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it'd be,
Baptism by fire.
unless he comes to the podium and asks not to be appointed till after budget.
And Mr. Mayor, I've had the opportunity to see him in action at some tough planning meetings, so I think he's he's been more than prepped for the job.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go to the audience. Dean?
I'd like to just say thanks for considering me. The beauty of the election was that it actually taught me, the process before and during taught me exactly how hard this job is. So by saying yes, I mean, there's a lot of time of your life that is taken up doing this. So it's a decision I didn't make lightly. So, and I can't believe we all got along during the election process, and we're all standing outside like buddies. So I'd be pleased to be on the council.
Great, great, very good. Any other audience comments? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion passes. Do we swear him in at the next meeting, or when do we?
I have it available.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. Here you go. Come on up.
Podium, raise your right hand. Oh, stand up here. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state.
that I will faithfully perform
I will faithfully perform
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of City Council Member
of City Council Member
in and for the City of Richmond,
in and for the City of Richmond,
counties of Macomb and St. Clair,
counties of Macomb and St. Clair,
and State of Michigan,
and State of Michigan,
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
according to the best of my ability, so help me God. Thanks, Karen.
Congratulations.
No,
You don't get to go back now. There's no turning back.
You feel that hook in your mouth at all?
Jeff, thank you.
Come down to my lonely part of the table.
Okay, we're on to city manager's comments, sir.
Just congratulations to Councilor Roberts. Welcome to City Council. This Friday, I'll be speaking at the Chamber's Elected Officials Forum up at Maniachi's Banquet Center. And the City Hall project is moving forward and progressing. If you go over there and take a look at the old police post, the city police side of it, where they used to be, you won't recognize it anymore. And we're just putting the final touches on a lot of the council chamber elements. So,
You can't imagine. I had a day off today to get some things, personal business taken care of. And the afternoon, I came up here to do something, and John said, "Did you make it over?" Because I told him earlier in the week I wanted to make it over there to see it. I haven't been over there in a few weeks at least, you know. So I got over there, and of course the police department's into their places. And what's the lazy boy doing in your office, by the way? Yeah, but very nice. The company did beautiful work in there. You guys need to, if you haven't been able to get over there to see it,
Okay.
you know, try to get over, and maybe you can schedule with John or something to get over there and see the work that's being done. And then you won't believe what they've done to the old police side, which will be the administrative offices. You won't believe it. They knocked out walls, and it's going to be clear all the way back. And I didn't envision that when we were looking at the architect's drawings and the rendering. I just didn't envision that at all. But it goes from one side of the building all the way up to the mezzanine there. It's going to be wide open, and it really, really, literally opens up the building. in our council chamber. It looks smaller than this, but in fact, we'll be able to put more people in there. And it turned out very nice. It's not extravagant, but it demands respect, I guess. It looks nice. It's reflective of Richmond, I think, you know. So anyhow, very, very nice over there. And I did talk to who was that, the builder's son?
Yep, Cameron.
And
Sidroni.
he said that, yes, he would have it done by June 1st, so he just, inside joke, yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, so anyhow, but very nice. So anyhow, okay, we move on. Council comments, Michael?
No, just welcome Dean Roberts to the council table. I think he'll be a great addition. Unfortunately, it's sad to see Jeff Goodar go as well, since he's been involved in so much stuff, and we'll continue, I'm sure, at some point in the future with that as well. So that's it. Thank you.
Yeah. Jeffrey?
Yeah, I definitely appreciate Jeff Goodar's commitment and everything he's done. Sorry to see him have to go. Definitely welcome Dean to the table. Jamie, glad to see you come back. We made sure we dusted off the area before you came back. But glad to see you come back. I hope you got a lot of things done in Washington and but on a more sobering note, in the last week, there's been an issue with the Macomb Trailhead Park, and a memorial for April Millsap. And the death of April Millsap is a huge tragedy, for the family and for the community at large. And I'll tell you that there are statesmen and there's politicians, and I am absolutely ashamed of Mark Hackle for playing politics with this issue, taking the death of this poor girl and using it as an opportunity to try to discuss his own personal agenda of how the trail is going to be managed in the future. It is truly time for statesmen who will work together to try to bring harmony to this issue. I think the commission is well motivated. I think they have a vision for the trail. I think they are willing to work with the Millsaps to preserve April's memory. But I absolutely am ashamed of Mark Hackle for trying to take the media opportunity to further his own agenda. I am glad that he realizes this is county property and the county should be paying for it, but this isn't the time for the discussion. It's time to try to address everyone's feelings, and then we move on to the issues of the trail.
I agree 100%. You stated it properly, too. Very, very sad that it's become what it's become. And I think the Trail Commission, too, which we're part of, and it happens to be that our planner is chairman of, has done an outstanding job. And that comes from his other commissioners saying the same thing. He's taken it from a lot of different people right now, and it's not what it appears to be. And it is very sad that it's become so political with our county executive. But we'll leave it at that. But thank you for bringing that up. Dean, your first time around.
Yes, filling Jeff's shoes is going to be hard, but I just have one request of my fellow councilman. Help.
Absolutely.
Point me in the right direction, and I appreciate your vote of confidence. Thanks.
Jamie?
Well, I've been gone, so no, I'm just kidding. I appreciate that you guys excused me for this great opportunity that my family had. I actually learned a lot, and I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate how we are cohesive. We don't always agree, but we handle situations very well and well beyond communities now across the country that I've seen. I'm disappointed to see Jeff Goodar going. He was a great asset to our team, and I'll just let that go now.
Well,
Yeah.
I have a question. Being you were in Washington, D.C. with your husband at the Pentagon and everything that you were doing, how is it that our U.S. Congresswoman, did you have anything to do with that when she has announced her resignation, or not resignation, but that she will not seek another term? That's too bad.
It is too bad.
Yeah.
That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
But thank you for coming. I welcome you to here. I do have just there's a few blight issues that maybe I can talk to John about. It just has to do with, I think, with General Dollar gone now, I think it's exposed that area a little bit, that if somehow we can take a look at it, with now the vacancies there, if some signs can be taken down so it could look like a place that can be actually marketable. And then the yellow signs, of course, near the Masonic Temple, are starting to really, it's looking rough, on that side of town. Thank you.
Jim?
Mr. Mayor, I too agree with Councilor Yarick's comment about that. And Dean, it's a pleasure that you're on the council. Thank you. Had a very good opportunity when we were running for council to talk back and forth. It was eye-opening to me, and you know, and I'm glad to see you aboard. I'm gonna miss Jeffrey, because like I won't be able to pick on you like I did with Jeff. So. Without getting cut.
Yeah. Yeah. So, again, sad to see Jeff go. Glad you're here. One of the important things about getting you on right away also was we do have a budget workshop on the 27th. That's at 5:30 in the evening, right here at City Hall, and again on the 30th, and then again and again. So, but that was very important, because a lot of what we do at the table all year long is discussed in big detail, in very deep detail, in our budget workshops, because so much of it is, you know, watching the people's money. So, and it's going to be another tough year for us. So it's not one of those great years to get on city council where you can just la-di-da. It's going to be a lot of hard work for us to get back to where we were, you know, in the next few years, once property values come up, and, you know, hopefully we get some building going on. So, but we're glad that you came out the last time and showed your interest, and then stuck on planning commission. John, did we ever have time to find out if you can still be on planning commission?
I have not.
Okay, we're gonna have to look to see. You may not be able to serve both positions, because it could be conflicting.
Okay.
But we'll find out. And you don't have a meeting this month anyhow. It got canceled for planning. So. Here, you thought you were having a good month, huh? Yeah, no. Okay, so moving on. We'll go, make sure I'm on the right month, Jimmy.
You are.
Okay, all right, here we go. Of course, we're in spring break right now. Watch out for the kids. The first day of yard waste collection starts tomorrow, the 7th, here in the city of Richmond. The Planning Commission has been canceled for the 9th. There's nothing on the agenda. The Cable Commission will meet on the 14th at 7 o'clock right here at City Hall. The EDC will be meeting on the 16th at 7 o'clock, again here at City Hall. There is a fundraiser for the Lois Wagner Memorial Library that's going to be held on Friday the 17th, Saturday the 18th, starting 9 a.m. in the morning till 4:30 on the 17th, and 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the 18th. And that's going to be a book sale. I think that's a used book sale.
It is. It's a used book sale. I believe it actually starts on Thursday, though. There's a pink piece of paper right in front of you.
Yes, it does. It starts Thursday, the 16th at 9 a.m. to 4:30. And they're taking donations. Bring any books to the library during regular business hours prior to the sale, and all profits will benefit the Lois Wagner Memorial Library. And this is being run by the Friends of the Lois Wagner Memorial Library group. So that's the April 16, 17, 18, the used book sale at the city library. That takes us 2 weeks from tonight will be the next regular city council meeting. And as mentioned, the council has special workshops for the budget discussions on April 27th at 5:30, on April 30th at 5:30, on May 7th at 5:30, and on May 11th at 5:30, unless things change between them. But Right now, that's the best we could do with, hopefully that meets your calendar also.
Yes, it does.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, so now we'll move on to, is there any other business of the city council this evening?
Mr. Mayor, I know it's been a long meeting, but I did want to mention, about a year ago, we put up the new city website, and a part of that is you can sign up for text messages or emails, and you can sign up for those from different departments, but you can also sign up for emergency notices. And for instance, last week I heard from a couple residents that had signed up for the emergency notices. They were on their way home when the train broke down and was blocking several intersections, and they were actually able to get through town because they had their text saying the train is blocking Main Street, Division Road, and Pound Road, so they knew to take Forest before they got onto Main Street. So just a reminder that we do send out those emergency notices with the new website. I'm able to update it at home when I get a call from dispatch saying what has happened, so I don't have to come in here and do it. And so, like I said, there were a couple residents that talked to me and said, boy, we really appreciated getting those text messages.
So how would a person go about doing that? A person like me, John?
Yep, you just go to the city website, and on the left-hand side, there's a button that says notify me.
Alternatively, have one of your children do it.
And grandchildren.
And you click on that button that says notify me, and it's very simple. You type in your cell phone number, your email address, because a lot of people get their emails also on their phones. And you can, like I said, you can click on, to get all of the notices, or if you just only want emergency notices, or you only want information from the library or the rec, you can kind of tailor it. You don't have to get all of it, but the one I would definitely recommend is those emergency notices. Then you're not stuck on Main Street, for 2 hours while the train is derailed.
Very good.
So, like I said, it just was another example of why people should sign up for those.
Very good. Very good. Okay, motion to adjourn would be in order.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. There's no discussion on adjournment motion. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Against? Motion passes. Thanks for being with us.